Hi everyone, Tony from Hack the Movies here, and today we're going to talk about the Muppets Christmas Carol and explain why it's a Christmas classic. Today on Hack the Movies.
Tapes, we're talking about tapes.
Hi Johanna, how are you?
Hi, Tony. I'm upset
Why?
because Disney ruined everything.
What did they ruin?
They're taking away Muppet Vision 3D. I'm very upset.
I don't know, part of me is like, why don't you update it? But then I saw what they did to Star Tours, and I never want them
if they touched that, I would literally go burn the entire resort down.
Yeah, they would ruin it somehow.
Also, it's the last thing that Jim Henson worked on before he died, Muppet-wise, but
it's a bummer.
Don't touch it.
They shouldn't.
Move it somewhere else.
Is it at any other parks? Is it in California? It's just there and they're getting rid of it. Well, we got to make room for Star Wars shit.
Oh no, this is Monsters, Inc.
Monsters, Inc. is popular.
I went on the ride in Tokyo Disneyland and it was really good. Very cute.
What do you do on the ride?
So you get a little flashlight and you have to shine at the different monsters. And it makes them interact with stuff. It's cute.
The twins like Monster Inc.
Oh.
They think Mike is in their closet. They're not scared. They just think he's in there.
Mike, not Sully?
Either one.
Okay.
And they ask for him.
Okay.
Like, Mike's in there. I'm like, okay. I'm like, are you scared of it? They're like, oh, they just think he's
Prison
in
Mike?
No,
Prison
oh,
Mike's
man,
in their
could you
closet?
imagine Prison Mike around my niece? Yes, I know Disney ruins everything, makes it woke. You hate Kathleen Kennedy, but we got other stuff we got to talk about, Johanna. We got to talk
These
about
woke mobs ruining my Muppets.
Well, look, I know there's one Disney thing you're excited for. They're finally fixing the Hall of Presidents. I knew you'd be happy about it.
Oh yeah, do they just move the animatronic over? Is that what happened?
But yes, you're very excited for that.
Oh yeah. So
it's going to be a great year. Disney's going to be fixed. It's going to be great.
I'm gonna unalive myself.
Muppets Christmas Carol. This was a big one. Although you've revealed to me that you did not see it until way later.
Yeah, I didn't see it when it first came out.
How old were you when you saw this?
I had to be 13 or something.
Really?
Yeah.
You went that long?
Yep.
Holy shit.
And now it's my personality. Because I've been asking to review this since the channel started.
This is a hard one because I don't know if I saw it in the theater. So this is 1992. I mentioned in previous episodes, that's when my brain turned on and I can remember seeing things in the theater.
Brain turned on.
I remember seeing Aladdin in theaters specifically. But this one's tough because I watched it so much on video. I can't remember if I saw this in the theater. I definitely saw Treasure Island in theater. That one I remember seeing.
What a good movie.
That one is good, but I never owned it, so I haven't watched it as much as this one.
You got Disney Plus, right?
I have, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. We'll see if there's special versions of that movie that are hidden, but let's wait till we get to that part. But yeah, this was my first Scrooge movie, I think. I'm pretty sure. It was my first exposure to the character, a story I now love, although I've never actually read it. But I've seen so many film adaptations of it. I feel like I got it, right? Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you need to read the book for? You can just watch the Muppets.
Yeah. Charles Dickens is in it.
Yeah,
played
he's
by
literally
Gonzo.
in it.
Which, by the way, they picked Gonzo because he was the least likely to be Charles Dickens. They picked the most opposite thing they could think of.
Yeah, no, that makes sense because you would think it'd probably be Kermit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That probably would have made more sense.
Yeah. No, Gonzo. Gonzo's my favorite personally.
Gonzo was good.
So.
Gonzo was good. I don't know if I have a favorite.
You don't have a favorite Muppet?
Oh, I guess Kermit. I like Kermit.
Basic bit. No.
Monica thinks I look like Dr. Teeth when my hair is long. Oh, fuck. Come on. I don't look like Dr. Teeth.
I'm going to cry. That's so funny and I can't unsee it now.
Cutting this out. Now I'm going to get a bunch of you look like Dr. Teeth shit.
Oh, I will say during the episode, hey guys, don't you think Tony looks like Dr. Teeth?
I used to like Animal. Animal I used to really like. Yeah, so this movie, a little...
Kermit!
What did you do? Why did you...
No, he fell because you said that he wasn't your favorite.
So there was some sadness with this. This was the first Muppets movie made after Jim Henson died.
I don't think this would have been made the way it is if Jim was still alive.
What do you mean? Like, how would it...
I don't think it would have been as dark.
Well, the story is dark that they're adapting.
Yeah, but you could still make it... I mean, probably the most dark would be the last ghost.
Yeah, he's usually the scariest one.
But like...
Or he would have done the original idea to get around that, which I'll get to here in a second. But yes, it was made after his death. His son took over, Brian Henson, who did a ton of puppeteering stuff before this. And then he would go on to direct Treasure Island and then still work with the franchise. Originally conceived as a TV film. They were going to put this on ABC, I think. But
I'm so happy they didn't.
they would eventually make some TV Muppet movies. Maybe we'll talk about those one day. Yeah, I guess like as they were developing it, they realized Disney was just like, oh, screw it. Like it got approved for ABC, but then Disney was like, let's just buy it and we'll make an even bigger version of this. So initially they were going to have the Muppets characters as the ghosts. I have it here. Robin the Frog or Scooter was going to be the ghost of Christmas Past. Miss Piggy was going to be the ghost of Christmas Present. Well, that would have made a lot of sense. Actually, no, Sweetums would have made more sense for Christmas Present.
Yeah, Sweetums would have been really good. Yeah.
Sweetums would have been good as Christmas Present. And Gonzo, before he was written to be Dickens, was going to be the ghost of Christmas yet to come. They decided to make the ghost of Christmas resemble their characters from the book and have this new Muppets for them. Then they got Michael Caine, my co-star from The Dark Knight Rises, to be Scrooge. And I have his quote here. It's so funny because it works so well. I'm not going to do the accent. I'm going to play this movie like I'm working with the Royal Shakespeare Company. I will never wink. I will never do anything Muppety. I'm going to play Scrooge as if it's an utterly dramatic role and there are no puppets around me.
The best decision. That man acted his ass off with these puppets.
Meanwhile, 2 years later, Tim Curry's like, I'm in a Muppets movie. Having a good time.
I mean, it's Tim Curry. Come on.
And since Jim Henson was dead, this was Steve Whitmire's first time as Kermit. Now, he was Kermit at a very young age for me, so I've always been fine with him. I like both Henson and this. But I remember like talking to like older people about like Muppets and stuff, and apparently like people older than us like had trouble adjusting to this Kermit voice.
I mean, it's a little different, but it's not...
Yeah. I guess if you were growing up with the original version and then you got the new voice, it could be a little jarring.
Yeah.
For me, who was seeing both at the same time, like the old movies and these new ones, it kind of blended together for me, so it never really bothered me. They let him go like a few years ago, didn't they? Or is he still doing it?
I don't know.
I forgot to look that up. I remember there was something that they were getting rid of him, but I don't know why. It doesn't make sense. He's the voice of Kermit. Why would you get rid of him?
Why do they do the... Never mind. I'm gonna...
I think he did a good job as Kermit. But again, that just might be my point of view because it's the Kermit I'm the most used to. But yeah, let's get into this wonderful Christmas film. All right. Opens up on a beautiful miniature city with the overture playing of all the songs we're going to hear, which you have this beautiful album here.
I got the vinyl record.
It's very dark. It's very like blue. Oh, wow. When Love Is Gone. We'll talk about that.
Belle. It's not even her actress's name. It's just Belle.
Is there like a cool slipcover? Hold on. Oh, that's cool.
You drop my record, I break your face.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. I think it's blue. The record, if I remember correctly.
It is.
It is blue. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
do you see
the Marleys.
Uh-huh.
That's funny. I'm going to have him looking at the star. We're putting that up on there. Ah. Okay. So yeah, the music's playing, getting you into the film. And we see foggy London town, most famous for being the home place of Manny Muskets, our beloved autistic black comedian friend who does acid when he performs. He grew up there. Now, whenever I watch a movie in foggy London town, I'm going to think of our boy Manny Muskets. And then we see Gonzo and Rizzo playing Charles Dickens, and
Rizzo's Rizzo.
Rizzo
the rat. Rizzo the rat.
And he's going to tell us the story of Scrooge. And I love that, like, Rizzo's like, you're not Charles Dickens. Like, of course I am. He's like, he's a very famous author. He's like, thank you. Like, Rizzo's just there, like, calling bullshit on every... He keeps pointing out the plot inconsistencies. But yeah, Gonzo as Charles Dickens is funny. But yeah, they decide they're going to... He's going to tell the story. We get introduced to Scrooge.
It's just like, he's going to come around that corner, right?
Right now. And they sing a song about how he sucks. It's all like, Scrooge is a prick, he's an asshole. That's
it's like Beauty and the Beast, where it's just like...
I have it in my notes. It's like Beauty and the Beast. The whole song where it's like, Belle, you're a piece of shit.
You're weird.
Go fuck yourself, Belle.
She's pretty, but she's weird.
Those are the lyrics to that song.
Yes.
It's the go fuck yourself, Belle. It's my favorite.
Yep. This song also has the best line ever written in history.
Which one?
No cheeses
For us Mises.
No crust of bread for those in need.
No cheeses for us Mises.
My favorite part is when the carolers are talking about how he's probably just a really nice guy, but sad. And they're like, nah. Speaking of
No
Beauty
cheeses for us
Speaking of
Mises.
Beauty and the Beast,
Please, sir, I'd like some cheese.
the twins like Beast.
Good.
They like Beast. They wanted to watch it the other day, but I didn't want to give up the big TV. So I threw the VHS on the CRT, so they got to watch a tape in the year of our Lord 2024.
So how I used to.
I have my nieces watching Disney movies on a CRT TV while I played like Fall Guys or something.
You're mean.
I didn't want to give up the big TV.
I gave up my TV for my nephew, the baby nephew, so he could watch Mickey Mouse's Clubhouse.
Well, you should have got an old CRT TV
No.
and made a VHS copy of Mickey's Clubhouse. But they like Beast. But yeah, it's a good way to introduce you to the Scrooge. Here goes Mr. Humbug. I love that song.
Mr. Grinch.
Okay, my one problem though is like when it comes to Muppets, I can handle humans and Muppets who look like humans side by side. It's when you have a bunch of Muppet animals and then you show me real sheep in the background. I'm like, no. They all have to be. It was weird to me. I'm like, you can't show me like Muppet cows, Muppet horses, Muppet this, and then show me like a real animal. It throws me off. I don't like it.
So that threw you off, not Michael Caine being the most like serious actor.
I don't know what it is. It's when they mix humans and puppets. I'm like, okay, it is weird seeing a human with a humanish puppet, but I'll deal with it. And I'm already buying that a frog will work at this place and rats can be employees. I'm trying my best. But when you show me Muppet animals and then real animals, my brain's just like one or the other. It's got to be one or the other. It was really bothering me that there were like real sheep in the background. I'm like, why aren't they goofy sock puppet sheep? Why are they real sheep?
Why was the horse singing and talking?
Well, because it's a Muppet movie, but then you have real sheep just doing sheep shit. And I'm like, no, they should also be dancing and being all weird. Really bothers me. I don't understand why it affects me so much. I'm like, no. They all have to be puppet animals. They can't have any real animals in this. So Kermit is playing Bob Cratchit. And he's like very upset about how cold it is. And all of Rizzo's family are the bookkeepers. I love how when he walks in, there's a guy begging for like some leniency on his rent, and Scrooge just like picks him up and walks him out of the. He doesn't even bother to hear his case. He's just like, all right, goodbye. He loves evicting people. It's like his favorite thing to do. And who could blame him?
Are you like a landlord or something? Like
One day.
Boo. Scum.
Here's something my old landlord did. Never fix the heat. They're begging for more coal in the fire. But he's like, that's an expense. What are we going to do here? It's like, well, it might help us. Like, oh, how would they feel on the unemployment line? And then it cuts to them in Lou House. Heat wave! Fucking editing is spot on. Because I like that even Kermit's thrown off. Like, you didn't expect him to costume change so quick. And then we get a visit from Fred, Scrooge's nephew, his only living relative. And he comes in, he's like, wow, Scrooge, isn't Christmas great? He's like, it's a humbug. And Fred goes, Scrooge, you're a real piece of shit. And I hope you go to fucking hell. That's what he says.
Every day I see you.
Bitch. But yeah, Scrooge can't stand Christmas. He doesn't like the whole season. He's making fun of his nephew for being poor. And his nephew's like, well, you're rich and you like suck. Why are you giving me shit, buddy? And then Dr. Honeydew and Beaker show up. And they ask for charity money. This is a classic scene from the book and a bunch of the other movies. You know who did it in the George C. Scott one? You know who played this one character?
Who, Tony?
Michael Gough, the Alfred from the Tim Burton Batmans. He was one of these guys. And surprisingly, in that movie, he also went beep, 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 beep. It was very confusing.
That makes sense to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
George C. Scott was like, come again? He was like, beep, 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 beep. He's like, oh, okay. Can I talk to someone else? He's like, hey, will you donate to the poor people? And he's like, hey, are the prisons and poorhouses still open? They're like, yeah. And he's like, oh, thank God. I donate to them. And it's one of my favorite lines where they're like, some would rather die. He's like, perhaps they should do so and decrease the surplus population. Can't argue with that. But everyone seems to argue with him. And I do like the Dr. Honeydew being a real prick to him. He's just like, Mr. Scrooge. We had enough of Mr. Scrooge's time. And then this poor bunny picks the worst possible time to start caroling. What was the point of Christmas carolers?
Bring cheer and holiday spirit.
Do they still exist? I've never once heard
I
of...
think there were some in my neighborhood, but they didn't come to my door, which I wouldn't either.
Oh.
My home is a house of sinners.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I know Scrooge hates everything, but I could be in the most Christmassy mood and some fucker starts singing my front door. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to throw
But
a
he's
wreath.
so cute.
And then he asks for money.
He gets bullied in Muppet Vision, too. Rest in peace.
So yeah, he kicks the bunny out and then he tosses a wreath at him.
He straight up just...
I thought it was great. I could watch that over and over again.
No!
Bob begs for Christmas off, and he's just like, no, you can have 30 minutes. And it's like, well, that's not really enough time.
I want to know if they have this conversation every year, because, like...
What other holidays do you think he's trying to... What other holidays do you think he's trying to get out of?
Thanksgiving.
Oh, in London? Mm-hmm. I don't think they do Thanksgiving in fucking London.
Boxing Day.
Boxing Day.
I don't know. Is that a UK? I don't know.
Remembrance Day. He wants to get out of there.
That like poppy thing, right? Is that Remembrance Day when they wear the little poppies?
No, that's their Veterans Day.
Okay.
Yeah. Or Memorial Day. That's their
whatever
version
it
of
is.
Hanukkah. You think he tries to get off all 8 nights of Hanukkah? That's not a high holiday, Bob Cratchit. He's like, okay, Rosh Hashanah. Can I get off for Rosh Hashanah? I'm on Scrooge's side. I'm like, no, you're working on every fucking holiday. I premiered an episode on
just
Thanksgiving.
Because you.
I premiered an episode on Thanksgiving. I premiered a Christmas episode on Christmas Day last year. No days off here from work or the gym. Actually, I went down to 3 days a week at the gym, but still, I have to go today because I hurt my neck this week and I missed Wednesday and Thursday. So I did my Wednesday workout yesterday, which was Friday. And now I got to do my Friday workout today, which is Saturday.
Uh-huh.
How proud are you of all the great changes I've made to myself this year?
What change?
I look like a new person. I got in better shape. I have muscles now.
You just look like you have really fat arms.
You did really great. Thank you, Johanna.
That was totally my voice.
You're right. You're really great, Tony.
I have a smartwatch.
Proud of
Is that a smartwatch?
No, it's a Fitbit.
Oh.
Thank you for saying I have very big muscles and I'm very cool.
You're just so buff and tough.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So he caves and gives them the day off. And they have to like really negotiate. It's like, well, all the other businesses are off. So you want to be able to have business with them. Although Scrooge, he probably would want to evict people.
On Christmas Day.
Christmas Day. So yeah, he gives them the day off, but he tells them they have to be in earlier the next day. And then they're excited when he leaves. They're like, oh, thank God, he's gone. And then Bob Cratchit sings a song about how great Christmas is. There's one more sleep till Christmas. Yeah. Although, so I get there was newer technology and they were able to do stuff with the puppets, but like Kermit ice skating looks
That was
weird.
so funny.
It looks so weird.
It's so jarring.
Because there's like puppeteers like covered in blue stuff. I'm like, and the fact that they didn't do it, like they only do it once in a while, but it reminds me of the original Muppets movie, that one scene where he's on the bike. And I'm like, that looks weird. We shouldn't see his legs. I don't want to see his legs. Whenever you see the Muppets' legs moving, it always looks so bizarre. I can't get into it at all. But it was new at the time. They were trying it. They only really do it for the scene.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe something with Gonzo later, but for the most part, it's just this. But yeah, he's ice skating. They're all having a good time. Even Gonzo and Rizzo start ice skating. And he's singing about how great it is to have one more sleep till Christmas. And then Scrooge goes home. We forgot to mention that the Marleys are dead.
Oh, yeah.
The Marleys. There's 2 of them this time.
Charles Dickens does tell us.
Yes, he does. He reminds us. He sees the image of Jacob Marley on the
I
knocker.
love that scene.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Which
Scrooge!
one is that? Is that Statler or Wardle?
Statler.
I think that's Statler.
I'm pretty sure it's Statler.
Yeah. And then here we have Rizzo pointing out how Gonzo narrating doesn't make sense. It's like, how do you know what's going on up there? And he's like, I'm omniscient. He's like, what? I do like that Scrooge fights his coat rack. He thinks it's a person. And then he settles in for the night. And then his bell rings. This is the classic being visited by Jacob Marley. That reminds me, last night, one of my dead friends visited me, Johanna.
You have friends?
Well, I have one less because this one's dead. And they told me that, like, I'm just not being Christmassy enough. And then they said that while I'm shooting the Christmas review for Hack Movies, I'll be visited by 3 Christmas ghosts to get me in the Christmas spirit.
Huh.
That was a weird coincidence that would happen before reviewing a Christmas Carol adaptation.
Wild.
But it happened. I'm interested to see who these ghosts are. And everyone watching should keep watching and not turn off, because they also want to know who the Christmas ghosts are. I'm sure it's going to be 3 very Christmassy people. So the Marleys show up. And I genuinely forget this every single time. And I'm like, well, I know one of them's Jacob, but what was the name that came up with the other one? Do you remember?
No.
It's a real subtle joke. He goes, oh, Jacob, Robert. I'm like, Robert Marley. I'm like, Bob Marley, come on. That's what you guys came up
Oh my
with.
God.
Jacob and Robert Marley. I'm like, why Robert Marley? I'm like, Bob Marley.
That's actually really fun. I didn't know. I never made that connection.
I don't know if it was intentional, but that's how I'm buying it. Like, that's pretty funny. Bob Marley. I know they made new characters, or they stuck to the traditional characters for the other ones. I'm glad these 2 got to be Marleys. These are like the perfect ones. Yeah, and you can do the song. But that's the thing. It's like they're supposed to talk about how miserable it is being dead because he didn't appreciate life, but they look like they're having the time of their life.
They're laughing the entire time. Talking about, yeah, we're suffering.
There was that time we evicted the entire orphanage. They're like remembering it fondly. And then they do like a little sad one, but they're not really that sad about it. Yeah, this is probably my favorite song in the movie. Marley and Marley. This one's
Nah,
fun.
I gotta go with the first song.
Really? The Scrooge one?
Yeah.
I like this one.
Jesus First Mises.
I like this one. I should sing it at karaoke.
Are you gonna duet with yourself? Have 2 mics?
Marley and Marley. No, God damn it! You set me up for that.
Got him.
It's a family show, okay? And hopefully when these Christmas ghosts come and teach us the meaning of Christmas, you'll understand that. So yeah, this is fun. I like that even the Box and Chains sing along with them. That was cute. But yeah, they tell him like, hey, you're going to get visited by 3 ghosts. And I love this line from the original book too, where he's just like, can I just get them all at once? Which happens in the old Ghostbusters cartoon. The Ghostbuster, you ever see those?
No.
Not a big Ghostbusters cartoon fan, but I do like this episode. The Ghostbusters accidentally go through a time portal to foggy London town.
Why
And
do you keep saying foggy London town?
that's what it's called.
Just, yeah, yep.
They go through
It says that on the map.
They go through a portal to Manny's town. And they hear a guy screaming ghost, and they come in, and it's all 3 Christmas ghosts in front of Scrooge, and they bust the Christmas ghost. But then they go back to the future, and they found out that by doing that, they've erased Christmas. So they have to go back in time and release the Christmas ghost.
Huh.
It's pretty clever, but as a kid, I was like, they didn't all come at once. They specifically made a point to say they will not come.
Wow, you're so annoying.
Oh, and they give him a heads up on the chains that he forged in life. They're going to shackle him in the afterlife. But yeah, they leave. They say bye. And then Rizzo kisses Gonzo.
Woke.
This
Beat you
is
to it.
Disney's liberal agenda. I didn't see her name in the credits, but I'm sure that was Catherine
Stop!
Kennedy's idea.
No,
That was
stop.
her idea. Don't worry. No more. You won, Johanna. We won't have any more of that stuff in our Disney movies. Everyone thank Johanna for saving Disney. So the first ghost arrives.
I think she's the creepiest one.
You were not with me when I wrote the notes, but it says it's supposed to be the friendliest, but it creeps me out the most.
Beauty and the Beast, this.
It looks really creepy. It looks like something.
It's like an unsettling doll.
It's like a little girl, but like a dollish kind of girl.
Yeah.
It's all wavy. I don't know. It's supposed to be friendly, but it creeps me out.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
I literally think this is the creepiest one.
I'm the ghost of Christmas friendly. I don't like it. But speaking of, I think I hear a Ghost of Christmas Past coming now.
Shalom, I'm the ghost of Christmas Past. You know, the most boring of the Jewish ghosts. I'm far less boring when you find me on my channel, Once Over with Kaylee, or on Who Are These Podcasts. It's my duty to remind you of the past. Tony, last year, did not do a proper Christian Christmas movie for Christmas. Edward Scissorhands? Come on, Batman Returns has more Christmas in it. At least for that one, I can properly polish my Knish to Michelle Pfeiffer in a catsuit. Let's be honest, Diane Weist ain't showing off her latkes. Remember when Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman was laying all seductively on Danny DeVito's penguin's bed and he gets all, riled up? I feel ya, Cobblepot. Maybe try washing that greasy penguin onesie every so often and you'll be knee-deep in Catwoman. God, I love reminiscing about the past. What were we talking about? Who knows? Anyway, sorry for killing Jesus. Merry Christmas.
And a happy Hanukkah.
Wow. What a ghost.
Yeah.
Scarier than the one in this movie. Anyway.
Very Christmassy.
Very Christmassy. So yeah, she's like, all right, buddy, let's go. We're going to the past. Hitch a ride. So he grabs her and he flies, and the flying effect for Scrooge is great.
I like when
He's spazzing out constantly.
I like when Charles Dickens and Rizzo used the
They use the rope and they hitch a ride with it.
So I was rewatching this last night and Ian pointed something out that now I can't unsee.
Yeah.
But it looks like he literally hooked onto Scrooge's dick. So now when you rewatch that, you're all going to see it now too. And I'm like, shut up! It's on his belt or something! But now I can't unsee it. This is all his fault.
Why was Ian looking at his dick?
You know why.
So yeah, they end up in the past, and Rizzo gets chased by a cat, which was pretty funny. And Scrooge sees himself as a boy. And then we get this scene of him in the
I was going to say, I also love when they show all the
yes.
past, I got principles, whatever it is.
No, it was like William Shakespeare. It was like famous people. Did you see? I like repost. Someone tweeted it. Gladiator 2 did this weird promo where it was like all these busts of like historic figures, but then it was like Pedro Pascal and the new guy like standing in between them.
Paul, whatever.
Yeah. So they're standing between all these busts, and then someone retweeted it, but with this video from Muppet. Like, this is all I can see. Because it was pretty much the same. It's like historical figure, Pedro Pascal, historical figure, new guy. Gladiator 2. I did a live review with Adam Does Movies on this channel. Do you like Gladiator 1?
It's fine.
You can skip Gladiator 2.
I mean, is Pedro hot in it?
It was actually one of the only times it didn't bother me.
You're so weird.
Denzel Washington was the best part of the movie.
I heard he was supposed to smooch someone, but then it got cut.
I mean, he did kiss a dude, but it's like a Guido kiss hello thing.
No.
Although Ridley Scott now is saying, I don't know what Denzel Washington is talking about.
But then again, it's Ridley. Wait, come on.
Yeah, watch that episode. God damn that movie. It's ridiculous.
Is it bad? Or is it just like...
All the stuff with like them trying to overthrow the twin emperors, like Denzel Washington is trying to make a play for the Emperor's Throne. Pedro Pascal and Lucilla from the original are trying to overthrow him. That's all good. All the gladiator stuff sucks. And that's like what you want to go to the movie for. So wait till video, or better yet, just never watch it at all. Rewatch Rome. Rewatch Rome. How about do that instead?
God, I love Rome.
Johanna.
Rest in peace.
Johanna, a guy has a newspaper at one point. I know. How did he get it thousands of years before the printing press? He's just in a diner with a newspaper.
Huh. All right. Whatever.
Sharks in the Coliseum.
Well,
20 miles away from the ocean. How did they do it?
fine.
Me and Adam theorized that they had helicopters. Like Flintstones helicopters. Okay. Stop talking about Gladiator 2 so much. All right, so they're talking about how Scrooge is lonely. They don't really go. I think his like dad sent him there because he has like a sister and stuff. I think. Yeah, he does because he has a nephew.
Yeah, I was gonna say he has a nephew.
They don't really go into his extended family in this version. But yeah, he's constantly working on Christmas, doing his studies, and Rizzo can't relate to being so lonely. And Gonzo asks him why. He's like, "Oh, I have 1,000 brothers and sisters." Like, that's pretty funny.
We saw a lot of them.
Yeah, we saw a bunch of them. Then he remembers his headmaster, Sam the Eagle, who's the one who tells him, like, business. You will go to be an apprentice for business.
I want Regal Eagle.
Regal Eagle?
There's a barbecue place that has him as like the logo.
Oh,
in Epcot.
really?
Yeah, it's a barbecue place. It's like right next to the whatever that friggin' main building is in Epcot. Like when you're drinking around the world, the big white building that is not the White House.
I gotta check that out then. But yeah, Sam the Eagle is there as the headmaster, and he's like telling Scrooge what he's gonna do in life. You got to be dedicated to business and do this. But I love that Sam is breaking character. He's like, "It's the American way." Like Gonzo has to come in and be like, she's like, "Oh, it's the British way." But I like that after he does that, he like checks for Gonzo. Like, wait, did someone just? They all should have broken character. I feel like.
God, I love this movie.
But I love like as if there's a one line you have to listen for it, but as they're teleporting to the next segment, you just hear Sam the Eagle go, "Don't tip the driver."
No,
So fucking good. Then Scrooge remembers working at Fozziwig's rubber chicken factory. I worked at the rubber chicken factory.
I like at the party where you can see the two Marley brothers.
Yeah, they're alive and they're just being assholes to everyone. And then Dr. Teeth is there with his band. Animal gets everyone to shut up.
Quiet!
And then they all party. They're partying. Fozzie's like, "Waka waka."
Wait, why was that really good?
And
I could do. Hold on. I could do Kermit, but I can't keep Kermit up for long because then it starts to hurt my voice. And then I could do Fozzie! Waka waka!
I could only mostly just do the waka waka part.
And I could do Miss Piggy!
So everyone's having a great time at the party. And then here comes Scrooge.
Being a Scrooge.
Freaking killjoy. He's like, "This party, the expenses. What are we doing here?" And he's like, "Hey, Scrooge, get laid, you fucking loser."
Right?
And right on cue, he meets a lady.
It's Belle.
It's Belle, and she's just like, I've had a hell of a week. My father was kidnapped by a lion man in a mansion. I just moved here from France. I think a clock sang to me.
I think the chandelier or candelabra was trying to, with the feather duster.
And then he turned human, but then he said his brain was destroyed and he could only be attracted to feather dusters, so it wasn't going to work out with him in that group. When I did put on Beauty and the Beast, I made sure to turn it off right when Gaston stabs the beast, so it has a happy ending. I turned it off.
Gaston's literally like the worst person ever.
Nope.
And you stan him.
No. Gaston stabs him, and I turn it off. I'm like, Beast is dead. Yay! And then we dance.
Yeah, I know they didn't dance.
Gaston is a bad person, the worst person.
He's a horrible person. He's literally a horrible person.
Then why would they have cast my friend Dick Masterson to play him in that roast?
Oh, well.
And then they flash to the end of their relationship. We find out that they've had a relationship. And he keeps putting off the marriage because he wants to make sure he has more money. And
wait another year. Girl, you did the right thing. Leave his ass.
No, I have it here. She's ungrateful and impatient. Always thinking of herself. You know what? You know what doesn't help not being able to sympathize with this character? Cutting out her entire song. So how it is in the theatrical cut, we haven't seen any of the relationship. We're just seeing the tail end. And again, from my point of view, I'm just like, well, what if he's being honest and you are just impatient? I don't know. But she's like, I can't be with you anymore, Scrooge. And then it cuts to older Scrooge crying his eyes out, and then they leave, and I'm like, what just happened? Didn't seem like that bad of a breakup. It seemed amicable at some point. Like, oh, okay. That's because they cut out the entire When Love Is Gone song.
When love is gone.
They did this in the theater. They cut it out. Because, was it Jeffrey Katzenberg thought it was going to be boring to kids or something. Yeah. So we cut it out. Brian Henson fought for it to be on the VHS copy. And it's on some home media versions.
Yeah, I've been buying a lot of physical media lately because I don't trust no streaming service. There's like one specific DVD that you can get it with. It's just in there. Not that you have to go. I hate Disney Plus. No. It's so buried in there.
I was so fucking mad.
Because I asked you, because I was like, wait, can't you just click it?
Still, because I remember when it hit Netflix years ago, it was cut out. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, God damn it. So then I fire up Disney Plus. I'm like, surely it has to be in there. And it's not there. So I have to go into extras. They have it as a deleted scene. And then they have Muppets Christmas Carol full length. And that's the version you have to click. They make it so hard to find. It's so fucking
pissed me off. After you told me that, I was like, these Though, I actually 2 years ago, I believe, went to see the Muppet Christmas Carol, but with a live orchestra.
Ooh.
And it was awesome.
Yeah.
They kept When Love Is Gone.
Okay.
So everybody, after they finished, were going nuts. They were just like, yeah!
And look, I'm not even saying it's a great song. It's fine.
No, but it keeps the context of what happened.
Yeah, it really sells that breakup, which is because after that, he's done with Christmas. That's the thing that broke him. And they rushed through it so fast in the theatrical cut, and everyone seems sad, but I'm like, they were just kind of like...
And then also they have it as a reprise at the end of the movie!
Yeah, there's a callback later on to it that doesn't work now when you cut it out. It's just baffling. It's like the fact that they put it back in and then took it out again for some versions. Although I was researching, I think when it hits 4K, they might be... that version will be in there.
It should be. It should be
because I think they said they thought they lost the negatives, but they didn't. They have them, so we'll see what happens.
But it is on my vinyl record.
Yes.
We 100% have that on the vinyl record.
Yes. Very sad scene, unless you're watching the theatrical cut, and then you're just like, that lady seemed rude, and he seemed like kind of a dick.
No.
It seems like two people who should have broken. Honestly, without the song, it's like, yeah, these two people aren't working. They should break up. It's not sad or tragic. Yeah. They have two different goals. They're just not working out. You need the song to be like, this was great, and now it's ruined. He goes back And Christmas Past is like, all right, buddy, I'll see you later. Have fun. Bye. He doesn't do the thing where she's like a candle and he puts her out. That usually happens in the books. And then Scrooge meets a loud asshole. And it's the ghost of Christmas Present. And Johanna, I think I hear a ghost of Christmas Present here right now.
Tony, it's me, Gil, the ghost of Christmas Present. Ah, Christmas. A holiday I've never celebrated. As always, top-notch casting choices, Tony. I don't even know who the ghost of Christmas Present was. Is he the one that shows you what the world would be like if you never existed? Let's just go with that. So, follow me on a trip through the multiverse to an alternate timeline, an alternate present, where Tony never existed. In this present, Star Wars is still a beloved and thriving franchise. Why? Because this scene in The Dark Knight Rises looked very different. As a result, the movie flopped hard, teaching studios a bitter lesson. We don't want our heroes brooding and haunted. That means no more sad Luke, Indiana Jones, or Dewey from Scream. But without Hack the Movies, the hack-offs wouldn't know what to do with themselves. They'd watch a movie and not hear somebody else talk about it after. They'd feel empty inside, so they'd watch it again and again, always searching for that thing they don't know they need. For Tony from Hack the Movies to tell them what to think and how to feel, and to get into fights with his female co-hosts. And thank God, that's the present we live in. Right? The ghost of Christmas Present, did I do that right? Also, if you're sick of all this Christmas stuff, check out my anti-Christmas special from last year where I reviewed a bunch of Christmas horror movies. You can see some of this guy, Krampus. Tony will put a link in the description. Thank you.
They were more Christmassy than the last.
So Christmassy. So this should have been Sweetums.
If they were going to do...
Should have been Sweetums.
If they were going to do the Muppets as the ghost, this 100% should have been Sweetums. Other than they're like a big, like, fat idiot who likes to stuff their face, I don't know why they would have picked Miss Piggy. That was the only thing she has in common with this character. But instead, it's a giant guy. And he's huge. And, like, seeing Scrooge in front of the Ghost of Christmas Present is like seeing Kit Osborne in front of a 5'1" guy. Like, the height difference is staggering. It's amazing. And Johanna, I know it's so soon after we got another guest, but Kit Osborne is in the store right now. There he is.
Oh my God, Kit!
Kit, you were in a couple episodes back. Is your throat feeling better? He's still getting over his sickness. I'm so sorry, Kit. But here, you can sit back on the set again, Kit. There you go. So he eventually shrinks down to size. So because they probably started filming, we're like, oh, this effect is a pain in the ass. Let's shrink him down. And he's like, know me better, man. Why is the Ghost of Christmas Present so annoying?
I don't think he's annoying at all.
Every version, he's annoying.
He's just a happy-go-lucky guy.
So he takes him around town. And he's like, let me show you how everything's going on Ghost of Christmas Present.
Feels like Christmas.
Even though this is technically tomorrow, which would be the future, but just go with it. Yeah, and he starts singing the song.
It's true wherever you find love, it feels like Christmas.
But he's like, look, these people are having fun. That person's having a good time. And even Scrooge just starts dancing. He's like, did you see his dance?
I did.
Who had the better dance? Michael Caine as Scrooge or Timothy Olyphant as Mickey in Scream 2? Who had the better dance?
Ooh. I'm gonna go with Mickey, mainly because, like, yeah. So flamboyant.
Even prisoners and cops are dancing together. I don't know what it is about Christmas that makes everyone very happy. But I assure you, if I was in jail, I would not be dancing or singing. Although our good friend Riley did say he had a good time in jail because he didn't have to hang out with Mint for a week.
Oh my God.
Okay, so then he checks in on his nephew. He's like, you know what, Christmas? Or, you know what, Christmas? You know what, Ghost of Christmas Present? Maybe I will check in on my nephew. I'm kind of liking this Christmas thing. I wonder what he's doing. And they're playing a game where they're like, guess who I am?
This was awful. I felt so bad for him, but also not really, because, like, he is a bit of an asshole, but, like, unwanted creature, blah, 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 whatever she says or whatever. And Ebenezer Scrooge. And I'm like, oh my God, that's horrible.
And I love every version of Scrooge. He's always surprised by it. Like the George C. Scott one, he's like, And it's like, well, you are kind of a dick, dude. So he's like, oh, well, that made me feel bad. Can we go see someone else?
Oh, and I also really do like the fact that the Ghost of Christmas Present, his hair gets grayer
Every
as
single
it goes on. I
time
love
it gets grayer and grayer.
I love it.
Because I remember like the Jim Carrey one, he like dies at the end of that one. I think that maybe that is something from I should have read the book before this. So yeah, he decides to go to Bob Cratchit's house and we meet his fat pig wife.
No, I love Miss Piggy in this one.
She was pretty good. I love that. Very relatable. She has trouble telling the twins apart. I'm getting better. I'm getting pretty good at it, but there are just once in a blue moon, they'll wear their hair a certain way and I'll be like, Abby. But yeah, she's getting everything ready. And then Kermit is walking with Tiny Tim, and again, the walking looks very weird. Tiny Tim is sick. Tiny Tim, the character from this, not Tiny Tim, the musician, who was a very weird guy. From the star of Blood Harvest. Did you ever see Blood Harvest?
No.
I actually might be wrong. I don't know if that was the movie with him. Whatever horror movie Tiny Tim was in, check it out. It's a good one. Tiny Tim is sick. Scrooge starts to feel bad. He's like, oh, maybe I should pay Bob more money. I didn't realize he had 10,000 kids and one of them was sick. But even so, Cratchit is still nice to Scrooge because Cratchit is an idiot. He's just like, I want to thank Mr. Scrooge for this meal. And Miss Piggy is just like, fuck that guy. So yeah, they do a toast and then Scrooge is like, hey, I know you're not the ghost of Christmas future, even though we're technically in the future because it's a day later. But he's like, hey, is he gonna be okay? And he's like, and Ghost of Christmas Present is like, that's not my domain. But no! And I'm like, oh, jeez. He's like, I see a walking stick, but no one there. And it's like, oh, that's a bummer. Tiny Tim's gonna die. And then
it is Victorian times. I mean,
yeah,
everybody's pretty much dying horribly.
Yeah, and like I said, Tiny Tim sings. Yes, and then the ghost is getting older now. And he's talking about how like everyone's poor and everything. And Scrooge is like, is there nowhere for them to go? And he throws his words back at him. He's like, are there no prisons or poorhouses? And he's like, how do you like it, you asshole? Scrooge is like, oh, my own words against me. Hoist it by my own petard? Is that what it's called? Anyway. So yeah, he brings him to a graveyard. What?
I had a hair that was like tickling like right here. And I reached and grabbed it right away.
So he brings him to a graveyard. And he's like full on gray mode now. And he's like, well, buddy, I'm going to die. Hell of a thing, isn't it? And he's like, all right, well, I'm going to leave you with the Ghost of Christmas Future now. And he's like, oh, but Christmas, Ghost of Christmas Present, you've made me so happy. I think I'm good. I don't need that last guy. It's like, you have to deal with him. Sorry. And then he turns into Sparkles. And he flies away.
Just pew.
And then we see the Ghost of Christmas Future.
Ba-da-da-da. I love the music.
Who looks how the Ghost of Christmas Future usually looks, but just with big floppy Muppet hands. That's all they changed to him. Was big floppy Muppet.
Reminds me of like the way he is. Reminds me of the scene in Scrooged when he opens up and it's all
Why is he so scary? Like, what does any of this have to do with Jesus? By the way, why did Jesus make 3 specific ghosts for his birthday?
Change people from being pieces of shit.
Are we to imply that the ghost visited Jacob Marley and he went, nah, I'll be fine, and then died? Does everyone get this shot? What if you don't celebrate Christmas? Who do you get visited by?
Hanukkah, do you get 8 ghosts?
You get 8 ghosts of Hanukkah.
8 crazy ghosts.
Anyway. Speaking of Ghost of Christmas Future, Johanna, I think I see our last ghost coming in now.
Hi, hello, it's me, Joy of Passy, Semitic rascal and pop culture enthusiast, host of the Midnight Riff Party, and co-host of Daywave. I'm also the ghost of Christmas Future. For some reason, it's a really weird casting choice, Tony. I do have to say, and not because I'm Jewish, but because with all your OnlyFans money, think you could get a better one? That's okay, I get it. I'm a former fat kid, so I'm used to being picked last. Hold on, it's not ambient enough. I'm not sure if you want me to predict your future. I mean, I'm not much of a gambler. I'm not accurate. But I mean, like, if I were to guess, there's marinara in it. Anyway, Tony, you need to call me more because Hebrew Hammer isn't going to review itself. And all of you can find my streams at buffguypillowfights.com. Merry Christmas, Tony. You fucking mensch. I'm just waiting for the sirens.
Doesn't get more Christmassy than that ghost. The best moment of this is when Gonzo and Rizzo realize it's too scary.
Bye.
They're just like, we're gonna dip out
I
of
also
this.
missed one of my favorite lines too.
What?
Like the oh my god, like the lamp, not the rat.
Like the lamp, not the rat. Like the lamp, not the rat. My apologies.
Oh yeah.
When they were on the pole.
Yeah. I like
the lamp, not the rat. Like the lamp, not the rat.
I like the other one where he's just like, aren't kids gonna get scared? It's like, no, it's culture. It's fine. But yeah, here they're just like, this is too scary for us. We'll be back at the end. Yeah. They just leave. I do like how throughout the whole movie they've been like interrupting, or they've been like sneaking in the background of everything. So yeah, Scrooge is walking around. He comes across some pigs talking about how funny it is that some guy died. And I like that Scrooge knows from the beginning what this is. And he's just like, would hate to be that guy. Bummer, right? Sucks to be him.
I like that he's shocked too. Like,
I know. And then they go and the Spider Muppet is so cool.
Yeah.
I like that guy. I don't know if he's in any other Muppet stuff. But he's meeting.
I think he might be.
He might be.
I think he might be.
He's meeting with some old ladies. And they're like, yeah, we went to his house and we have this and we got this room. And it's like
curtains.
Curtains and like his blankets. And like, they're still warm. Like, it's the only warmth he ever had. So they're laughing. Oh, because they said, like, I remember he was just like, well, there's this guy they're talking about is miserable. Show me someone who this person brought joy to. And it's the people who robbed him after he died. So then he's just like, wow, Spirit, this is a bummer. I know what'll cheer me up. Bob Cratchit's house. Spoiler, did not cheer him up. Tiny Tim is dead. And they're all sitting around and they're like, wow, we really miss Tiny Tim. It's so sad. And Scrooge is like, oh man, that sucks too. And then he begs to know who the person is that died. Even though, again, he already knows. Because he's begging, but then he's also like, as he goes closer to the tombstone, he's like, and these are things that may happen, right? Not definitely will happen. We're good. I have time to change, right? I change the error of my ways, right? If I convert to another religion that does not have Christmas,
oh my God.
does this get me out of it? In which case, Mazel Tov. But yes, I do like that he points at the other tombstone and the thing's like, no, that one. But yeah, he reveals his name and he's the one who died. And he's like, oh, God, that's terrible. I don't want to be dead. So he begs and begs and begs to be forgiven. Then he wakes up and he's still alive. Yay. They did it. Of course they can do it. They're spirits. He does the whole when he opens up the door. He's like, you boy, what day is it?
I'd be like, you threw a wreath at me. Fuck off.
Instead, he tells him, he's just like, hey, I want you to go buy a big Christmas goose.
A cooked goose for everyone.
From Hot Rod. That's the best Christmas Carol. It's the end of Hot Rod.
It's true.
When he's just screwed. Makes no fucking sense.
Do you remember when I first watched that? I'm pretty sure we watched it together.
We might have watched it together. Oh, God.
I lost it. Lost it.
That would be so goddamn funny. And then Scrooge at the end is just like, what the fuck is happening?
Conveniently priced surgery.
Frank's conveniently priced surgery.
He's just showing all the buses, and then there he is out of nowhere. A cooked goose for everyone.
And I kind of stole that my movie. I had Jimi Hendrix in my movie. Remember Jimi Hendrix just randomly in the film at the end? So he's nice to the bunny. He wishes Gonzo and Rizzo a happy Christmas.
Oh yeah, they come back and they're like, "Hey, told you we'd be back."
He's like, "Merry Christmas." He runs into the doctor and tells him that he will donate. And Beaker gives him a scarf.
It's so tiny.
It's a
tiny little scarf.
Speaking of Hot Rod, when he gets that lame pet rock and he goes, "Yeah, it's the best." Like I think it's like less enthusiastic. So yeah, Scrooge is now singing for how thankful he is. He's like, "It's the best. I love Christmas. I'm not an asshole anymore." He gets the bookkeepers more coal. He has like a shit ton of coal all of a sudden. Wait, where is he buying all this stuff? I thought the stores were closed.
Maybe he had some stored away. I don't
know. Even Sam the Eagle and Fozzie get a gift.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they
They're
were
so
alive.
old.
Oh yeah, Fozzie's got the horn. Scrooge decides to surprise Cratchit.
I thought this was pretty funny.
Yes, he's like, "Hello, Cratchit, and your big fat pig wife. I'm here because you're not at work." And then Miss Piggy goes off on him.
I love her. Stand up for your man.
But I love that he's just like, and I'm giving you a raise.
And what? I'm sorry, what?
So he gives him a raise, and it's a big, happy ending. We find out Tiny Tim didn't die.
Who did not die.
He got money, I guess, to help with his sickness.
No.
Why did Scrooge die in the previous timeline? Because what if he's doing all this and it's like, oh.
He just dies anyway.
It's like, oh, you have heart disease. You're dead. Sorry.
Like he was just old and, yeah.
Was this his cheapness?
Which I still think it's funny that, like, he's changing now, even though he's, like, about to keel over anyway. So, like.
It's never too late to change.
Oh, my God.
It's never too late to change. But yeah, then they sing When Love Is Found. The callback to the song that they cut out.
If you've never heard that song, you're going to be like, huh?
So yeah, then the movie ends, but ironically it ends with the When Love Is Gone song sung by someone else.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, but why, what the fuck is this song? You can't cut a song out of a musical and then make the credits theme.
Could you imagine if they cut out, like, the little, like, tidbits of My Heart Will Go On from Titanic?
Yeah.
And then just randomly had the song, like, just nothing?
Yeah.
Like.
So stupid. But yeah, other than that, great film. I love this film. I've seen it like 1 billion times.
I watch it every December.
Yes. Same. It is a classic in this household. I'm excited to show the twins at some point. I think they would dig it. Yeah, and led to a bunch of other. I mean, the Muppets already had movies. They had Muppets, Muppet Caper, Muppet Take Manhattan.
I feel like they just came out with like bangers after this one. It was just like this one and what, Treasure Island and
then Muppets in Space. That's not really a banger.
Well, 2 bangers.
And then they did. So yeah, they started doing with Treasure Island. And they started doing like adaptations. So there is a Muppets Christmas TV movie that's basically It's a Wonderful Life. It's like what if Kermit never was born. They did do.
I did see that.
They did do Muppets Wizard of Oz with Ashanti as.
Didn't know about that.
Dorothy, yeah. Queen Latifah's in it.
Huh.
Kelly Osbourne's in it. It's very early 2000s, as you can tell.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard the name Ashanti.
I haven't heard that name in forever.
What's love got to do with it, babe. She sings that in the. No, I'm kidding. I don't think she sings it. I guess they stopped doing adaptations after that. I can't think of any other ones. But then they came back in 2011. Great movie. I liked Muppets Most Wanted. It was not as good as 2011. And then they made that terrible show.
Well, it was terrible in the beginning and then got really good. But everybody stopped watching, so no one knew. And then it got
I do remember
canceled.
that Kermit broke up with his fat pig wife for the skinny hot pig. Remember that? That was the plot
She
point.
looks like Natalie Dormer.
Yes, she did. She looked exactly like Natalie Dormer.
I mean, I would leave Miss Piggy for Natalie Dormer too, because oh my god, that girl is so pretty.
Yeah, now they do a lot of stuff on Disney Plus. Muppets Now was okay. Watched a little bit of Muppets Now. The Haunted Mansion special was fun.
So good. So good.
I'd like to see more stuff like that, like them in other property. Like the Simpsons do that. They've been throwing the Simpsons and a bunch of Disney shit. It'd be fun to see the Muppets do that.
I like the movie with what's his name? Jason, whatever his name is.
Segel. That's the 2011 one.
Yeah.
With Amy.
Amy.
Amy Adams. Yeah. That's where
That's
Walter
really
was.
Did they make a sequel? They made a sequel.
I just said Muppets Most Wanted.
That's right.
That
Muppets.
good?
That's what that was. Okay.
Yeah. In the 90s, they had that show Muppets Tonight that I thought was pretty good. I would like to see them come back as just a variety sketch show. That's what I was hoping when the ABC show.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping it was going to be a sketch comedy thing, and then in between they would do the Office style storyline in between like sketches because they were like putting on a show.
Yeah.
And said they didn't do that. The only funny thing from that show was Fozzie was talking about how it's hard to date online. Because when he
remember
because when he mentions that he's a bear, it attracts different people. I'm like, all right,
didn't the dad wait when he had the girlfriend? Like, didn't the dad like hate that he was a bear or something?
I think so.
Something
but
like that.
He's like, yeah, when you put that you're a bear, people expect something else.
Yeah.
But the Muppets are great. I still love that original movie too. I watched that with the twins over the summer. Like, this one still holds up. It was awesome.
Rainbow Connection.
Yes.
I have that album too.
That's good.
On vinyl record.
Moving right along.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm going home and watching.
We got to do more Muppets movies.
Yes.
We got to do more Muppets movies. You know, we never did any follow up to Pirates of the Caribbean. We should do Treasure Island instead.
Well, even if we did do a follow up for Pirates, I would only talk up to the third movie because the rest of it is just it's so bad.
Wait, I'm an idiot. Let's just do worst Pirates movie and talk about all of them. Yeah.
Easy.
Why?
Easy.
I didn't think about that. Because we were doing that before we came up with the best worst format. That's a good way to cover a bunch of sequels that we know won't do well on their own.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's do that this year. Let's do
yeah.
Treasure Island. I remember Treasure
A lot
Island.
of pirate stuff.
Yeah. I remember Treasure Island because I was, like 4 or 5 at that time. I was at my uncle's house, and I remember he took me and my little cousin, Erica, to the movies. I think that might have been the first movie she saw in theaters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I remember that's the first one. That's the first Muppet movie I saw in theaters, specifically. But I might have seen this. I cannot remember, though. But yes, this was a great Christmas episode. Thank you to our Christmas ghosts for filling us with festive cheer.
Festive cheer. Holiday spirit.
Check out our other Christmas episodes we did. We did Silent Night, Deadly Night, the original. I mean, we're filming this ahead of time. I'm pretty sure I squeezed out some Patreon stuff. Speaking of Patreon.
Oh, my thing doesn't work on my app, so I have to
Oh, we'll talk about this afterwards.
Okay.
You signed up for a free member. You didn't redeem the $10 member.
That's why I said it wasn't working.
Oh.
And then I had to log in, so I was just like, maybe if I sign up for the free one and use the code. It's I think I have to do it on the PC.
Yeah, try later. Everyone else was able to get it, but
I don't know why it hates me.
Speaking of Patreon, it's not too late, guys. You can gift Patreon memberships to your loved ones. This is 2 days before Christmas. There's still time. If you know someone who's a Hack Movies fan and they crave more, but their boss won't give them a raise, you can gift them. While they freeze to death in an old office, you can gift them a Patreon membership so they can hear more of my voice as they freeze and can't afford coal for the fire.
I have no words.
And also, I don't know if you saw this, the commentary tracks. I made them available for individual purchase. So if you're like...
I think I saw you talking about that.
So if you're like, wait, what did Johanna have to say about Deep Rising? I don't want to become a Patreon member. I'm not ready for that level of commitment. Well, you just buy that one commentary track, although it's cheaper if you become a member. You get them all. So yeah, do that. Like, share, subscribe, Retroware Store. Check that out. Book me on Cameo. There's still a couple days. I can say Merry Christmas to someone. Or I can tell someone to fuck off on Merry Christmas. Whatever you want. Johanna, do you have anything to plug?
I'm on Blue Sky. Stuff like hearts.
I will never be on Blue Sky. Although X is annoying right now with every like Middle Eastern bot account that's
Why do you think I left?
Ad.
It's disgusting there.
That part sucks. Everything else and people being mean, I'm like, oh, this is just 2003 forums. I'm used to this.
I left.
People are like, it's so negative. I'm like, this is the internet I remember as a kid.
Yeah, I'm not trying to go back to that. I don't know about you. I want to, make my life better.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason you are where you are and where I am. So
being really handsome in a store.
There's a reason I'm married and he's alone.
Hey. We had 2 dates. I'm sure I'm still seeing that person by the time this airs.
I'm not.
We're going to bring Cassill back. It's going to come back.
We'll see.
The show, originally we said it was the only Godzilla podcast that never goes on hiatus. And now I think we've had the most hiatuses.
It's your fault. Literally everything's your fault.
It's not my fault. I don't know who struck down the channel.
You could easily appeal, but you're a weenie.
Yeah. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I'll post the information there when I get around to it. We got to start planning to bring that back at some point. I got to edit your Japan trip together into a video because you stayed at the Godzilla Hotel.
Yes, I did. Stayed in the room.
It looks cool. I was looking through some of the video. I'm like, man, that shit looks cool.
There's like a button where you press it and the room starts shaking and stuff.
That's cool.
It's awesome.
But yes, thank you for a wonderful year. I almost knocked that down of Hack the Movies. And I can't wait to see what next year brings. Goodbye.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.
Talking about tapes.